This video is going to be about percentile and z-score. Here we have a standard normal curve. This curve right here, sometimes they call it a bell curve. Now, if we talk about percentile, if you were right here, right in the middle, you would be at the 50th percentile. In other words, 50% of the area is to the left of that line. Now let's say that perhaps you were up here, like that. What is your percentile? Now, just estimating, you would say, well, how much of this area is to the left of this line? How much of the stuff that you're looking at, whether it's test scores or your salary or your time in the mile, how many people or things are below that? What's the percentage? So, and sometimes you can find that out exactly if you know all the scores and where you fit in that. So you just say how many are below you and take where you are and figure out the percentage. Okay, that's percentile. Now I'm going to use this car company that's called TrueCar, and I've taken a couple of screenshots to show you that they're using real-time data and statistics to help people get a good deal on their car. So let's go to the next slide and take a look at that. In the TrueCar commercial, this is a screenshot of a piece of the commercial. So they show you this graph, and this is an app on your phone. So in other words, here is the average price right there of what, that's the mean value. And they say this is the price that you should try to get, which is right here. I don't know what that percentile is, but they talk about this guy over here. Look where he is. They say, well, he paid quite a bit more than the average person, and let's look at his percentile. So he might be in the 95th percentile because there's only 5% of the data over here and 95% over here. So he paid more than 95% of the people. Not a very good deal. And then they also talk about this guy over here. They say he got the deal of a lifetime. So this right there, deal of a lifetime. So he's, you might say, as an estimate, he's in like the 3rd percentile, which means only 3% of the people that bought cars got a better deal than him. So he did really well, got a very low price. And what you're doing is you're comparing yourself to how everyone else did. Okay, percentiles. That, I hope that clears that up a little bit. Now let's go to z-score. Let's take a look at this graph. So right here we have the market average, okay? So the average price that somebody paid for this particular car was $20,698. But if we think about the standard deviation is how far do the other people who bought the car deviate from this value? Were they really close or were they far away? So what it is, we take the difference in what other people paid, and we take an average of that difference. So that average difference is called the standard deviation. And we use the symbol sigma, and I'm just going to say that, let's just say that it was, how about $920. That was the average difference in how much people paid from this value right here. Okay, now we got to talk about the z-score. The z-score is, instead of thinking about percentile, where you are when you buy this car, let's talk about just how many standard deviations are you away from this middle price. And that's called normalizing. And that way we can compare different dealerships and different prices by saying, okay, I'm looking at 1 standard deviation away or 1.5 standard deviations away. We always look at standard deviation. How close am I to that average score? And in this case, we want to be right here. Here's our target. So I want to say this. If this is our target price, how many standard deviations are we away from the middle price? And that is the z-score. Okay, let's do some calculations here. Now, to figure out the z-score, we take the value that we're interested in and figure out what the difference is between the average, the mean, and that value, and then divide that by the standard deviation. Okay, difference between the mean between our price, how many standard deviations that is. Okay, let me do this calculation. Now, in doing that calculation, I found out that my z-score is negative 1.11. And we're going to find out later that that is a pretty good price because most of our sales are going to be within one standard deviation of the mean. One in each direction. One this way and one that way. So if we can get below under one standard deviation, that means that we're doing pretty good as far as our price on our car. Okay, we're going to work with that this week, and maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't, but at least you have some of the vocabulary and some information on how to find the z-score at least. Okay. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.